In this video, I'd like to briefly explain what Retro Dream is all about, what I do here, and the philosophy behind the channel. If you are anything like me, deeply nostalgic for the golden age of computers, consoles, and video games, you'll understand the joy of running original hardware instead of emulators. This is the first characteristic of my channel, offering you the full retro experience using good old machines with their slow processors, their counted memory, their noisy disk drives, and their glorious CRT screens. Not that I can't use an emulator occasionally. It can be useful for sure. Just ask my kids. But in my setup, emulation always plays a minor role. When I make a game review, for instance, at least 90% of the footage is captured directly from real hardware, and less than 10% from emulators. Since I'm focusing on authentic machines running actual software and genuine CRT display, as opposed to the easy solution of using modern emulators, I'm facing a lot of difficulties. I'm under pressure from my wife, who doesn't like all this junk piling up in the house, as she puts it. She's more into flowers than into computers, so that in our previous apartment, my C64 had to share a place with orchids and my IBM with climber plants. The situation has improved a little since we moved. I need to hunt down listings for machines and accessories in good working order and great external condition. I jump on every opportunity, especially for rare finds. It took me months to track down this pristine Commodore 1702 and this beautifully preserved IBM 5150, and I'd rather not remember how much I paid for some rare boxed editions, like Prince of Persia, Secret of the Monkey Island, or the first wizardry for the Apple II. Overall, my collection already spans 20 years, ever since I bought my first retro machine, this Atari ST, back in 2005. These items aren't cheap, as you know. I spend all my budget on these rascals, but acquiring them is only the beginning. Once you get them, that's when the real fun begins. And that's setting up a reliable working environment, making sure you're able to run this legendary software on that epic hardware. Loading a game from cassette tape or floppy disk is not straightforward. It takes time, and you're lucky if it works from the first try. It's amazing that most of this stuff still loads all right after something like 40 years. If it's no wonder for game cartridges, which aged very well, it's much more surprising for magnetic media. Given their relatively fragile nature, it's incredible to see a 1983 diskette loading Load Runner flawlessly on an Apple IIe from the same year. Same thing with the C64, look at that. It loads the pawn without issue. And here again, we're talking 1983 or so. That's more than 40 years ago, man. And when it comes to cassette tapes, it's even more brutal. These are even more fragile and unreliable than diskettes. And nonetheless, many of them still load. After 5, 10, or 15 minutes waiting, there it is. The splash screen fires up on your CRT, and the game runs like it's 1985. These challenges and difficulties never arise for those using emulators. But emulators can't convey the same nostalgic effect, not even close. If you want to experience the real thing, there's nothing like using authentic hardware, dealing with big boxes and floppy disks, inserting them in the drive, booting up your machine, feeling it warming up, watching phosphor dots appear on your screen. Typing on vintage clicky keyboards. Hearing the sound of disk drives reading and writing data. Handling a good old Koenig Speed King or Navigator joystick. A genuine Amiga or Atari ST mouse. Emulators can't compete with such a torrent of nostalgic feelings. The second feature of my channel is that the show must be a beautiful one, aesthetically speaking. I like filming these things like they were precious artifacts of the past, like artistic objects. Some are good-looking and others less, but their real beauty is out there, in our minds, because they make us dream about what they can offer. And what they offer is to convey an entire era from the past. For me, just looking at the IBM PS2, Amstrad, or Atari ST case is enough to make my mind wander, because these machines are associated with such a wide range of gaming emotions. They are more than technical devices. They are cultural icons. They are enticing something bigger than themselves, and they deserve to be filmed that way. That's why a significant portion of my videos is dedicated to visual storytelling. I don't just present these machines, I celebrate them. I see beyond the sole utilitarian aspect. I find these things not only useful, but also beautiful. There's a sociological and cultural dimension to depict beyond the technical features. And I feel the same way about software. In my opinion, video games were fully part of our cultural background from the very beginning. Long before they became a billion-dollar industry, they were already artistic expressions, not just entertainment. They deserve to be seen on the same level as cinema. In fact, from a commercial perspective, video games have already overtaken both music and film combined. I'm always experimenting with new angles, lighting, and filming techniques. Videos are one thing, but still photos are another passion of mine, and I'm glad many people enjoy the photos I share on social media. Constantly improving the general setup in my humble studio. I want to reveal the artistic aspect of retro. I've come to think of myself as a photographer on top of a retro geek. Of course, I take every chance I get to promote retro to my kids. And they participate in some of my videos too, especially those that include cooperation or competitive play. And now, just a word about what this channel is not. As you've already understood, you won't find many technical projects here. I leave that to people much more qualified. Also, this channel is not a clickbait factory with absurd thumbnails, big red arrows, and ridiculous facial expressions, as you often see on YouTube. As I said, aesthetics matters a lot for me, and that applies to the entire channel, including video thumbnails. I want a beautiful grid of thumbnails that's pleasant to look upon, all by itself. I don't want to pollute my channel with garbage, either pictures or fake sensational scoops. And no matter if it doesn't bring extra views. I refuse to chase views with cheap tricks. I think you can build a serious and attractive channel without tricking people. In parallel to classic setups, computer and game reviews, I'm also running several long-term projects, such as creating isometric computer and console designs to illustrate my videos and make retro timelines. If not seen yet, you can watch my best of video. The great timeline reviewing 80 emblematic machines from the computer golden age. In general, you won't see my face very often on screen. I make a few appearances here and there, but not more. This is not a show about me, but about the stuff that we love. Personally, I'm not a fan of videos where the host's face gets more screen time than the subject advertised in the video title. I totally get that many people are okay with that kind of setup, but this is just not my thing. Sorry. So, that's what Retro Dream is all about. This is what I do on this channel. I hope this gives you a clearer picture and that you'll join me on this journey. This is passionate work, but it's not my only one, since I'm also running another channel. If you're also interested in ancient board games from the 1980s, game books, literature in general, and Tolkien in particular, check out my other channel, Age of Ink. You'll find the link in the description. Keep the passion burning. Join the Retro Dream.